Did you know that Dr. Pepper and Mr. Pibb are related? One just didn't finish college. My name is Victor Ashley with Skyline Properties. I'm out of Seattle, Washington, and I'm a real estate agent. You could reach me directly at 425-559-4590. Please like, subscribe, follow. The channel's growing. Really appreciate that. 46 subscribers as of today. And I had a conversation this weekend, and I wanted to kind of expound on that for our video today. So specifically, I caught up with somebody that I met in college years ago. They asked me, hey, Victor, in particular, what would it look like if I moved back to Washington? Currently, they live in the Portland area, and Portland and Seattle are very similar. But through our conversation, a couple of things kept on coming up, and I want to kind of expand on it. So if you have a quick moment, I'm going to go over this. We're going to talk about if you're in the income range of $60,000 to $80,000, right around in there. And then we're also going to expand into down payment assistance, FHA, and USDA. All right. And if you missed it earlier, but I posted a video about the USDA loans by my friend Heidi Elliott. And it's linked on my page, and it should be showing up right here. Again, I do all the editing, so if it doesn't show up right here, I'm sorry. Just check it in my playlist. Okay, so let's share my screen. I got this kind of set up a little bit. So we're going to go back into our mortgage calculator that we usually do, and let's make me bigger and figure out where to place me today. And again, I'm very new to this, so I'm getting a lot better in figuring out where I actually put my face in this presentation. But I just do the mortgage calculator. We're going to go on the high end, about $85,000. That's on the higher end of our range today. But our medium household income in Washington is roughly $85,000, depending on where you live. So just kind of wanted to go into this where you actually fall in today. Okay. So more than likely, somebody that's using an FHA loan makes between 60 and 85, maybe even 100K. It's very dependent on, each county specifically that you live in. So I'm going to share a resource with you afterwards. It'll be in the description, but it's based on your county, and it's also dependent on the income range of that county. So I just want to keep it about 85 because the majority of the time it actually fits that specifics. Another one is the USDA, and that's something that Heidi went into detail in that video that I directed to you earlier. But with USDA, there's the medium income range, and you can't make more than 115% in that county. So if this was like, let's just say that this is Pierce County's average. I don't know because I didn't actually look it up, but it couldn't be 115% more than this. So this is just an idea, give you just a buffer zone, give you an idea that there are resources available too. So I was speaking to this person, and they asked, hey, I think I'm going to be making between 65 and 85K. And everything's specific when you move to another state. So I'm just going to give it a range. On the higher end, we have 85K. Now, what we were talking about is specifically, what are the minimums that you need to actually qualify for loans? So besides your credit history, besides your employment history, you're also going to need a down payment. Okay. Down payment is very specific in this range because the down payment depends on what type of loan you're using. If you're using an FHA, the minimum down payment is a 3.5%. So let's just use that. We're aiming for a purchase budget of about $300,000. But with 85K, monthly debts, revolving monthly debts of $250 a month, your down payment would roughly have to be 3.5% of whatever you're buying. Now, with a $300,000 purchase price, that's approximately $10,000. So this gives you an idea just exactly what it looks like. Interest rates for FHA, they're going to be a little lower. I'm going to quote just a little bit higher because interest rates are just creeping into the sevens today. just so you have an idea. And again, I'm not a mortgage advisor, but I can give you the general idea of mortgage rates are going up. So I'm trying to stay in my lane with it, but at the same time, you need to know that Google does exist and you can figure out exactly what the average rates are in the area. And it's also an aggregate, okay? So 85K, monthly debts of about 250 and a down payment of $10,000. You get a purchase price about 267, okay? Now we take that mortgage amount, let's just round that to 260, move it over here. And that brings you a payment roughly of $1,700 a month. Now, this doesn't include any kind of HOA or insurance or what's commonly referred to as PMI. That's a primary mortgage insurance. If you're under 20%, the bank charges you a surcharge on top of that. Now, the reason why I bring this up is because $1,700 is roughly a range, and then you have extras, okay? One thing about rent that people keep on forgetting about versus buying, I rent right now, so if my water heater blows up, I don't have to replace it. That's my landlord's issue, not mine. I just make the phone call and I don't have to deal with it. Specifically though, if you own the house, you have all the costs involved in the house. That's why we also tell you to, we recommend that you have a home inspection. I just had this conversation with a first-time buyer this weekend, and we were talking about the cost of home ownership. They're already under contract to buy, but you know, it's kind of hard to come to grips with that you have 100% of the responsibility of the home. Okay, so I just wanted to get into that a little bit. Now, one thing that I wanted to point out is down payment. Now, the down payment assistance program in Washington is very specific and it's very detailed, but I wanted to point out a resource for you. So down payment assistance, and this is from the Washington State Housing Finance Commission, and I'll also share this video. I'll share this link in the description below. But this is what you do to, this is where you may have an extra resource in your down payment. So let's just go over the programs real quick. You know, here's the statewide programs over here on this side. There's things specific to, you know, veterans, if you're disabled, if this is your first time buying a house, if this is a needs-based, there's the statewide program. And then there's also area-specific programs. And the area-specific programs are in Seattle, Bellingham, Tacoma, and also the East Side. So these are very specific, and it's based on your needs as well as what you qualify for. This is a separate thing that I'll show you quickly in the MLS. So let's go into the MLS now, and let's actually look at some of these pretty houses that we always talk about. Residential and condominiums, you know how I do this. I hit active over here. We're going to do a price under 300,000, and we're just going to keep it in the general area. I think that this has to be reset. Okay. So we have residential condominiums. We cleared our zip code, and we're going to keep it under 300,000. And we have currently in Washington 560 options, and that's in the Washington, the Northwest MLS. So it's very specific. Let's actually just put it into the King and Pierce and Snohomish counties, because these are our main counties that we handle, and also Thurston, because that's actually where I'm from. So do a quick search on that. Under 300,000 to buy a house or a condo in this area, we came up with 98 actual queries that came up. So 98 optional houses for you to have. Now, I'm not going to go through and do my price per square foot on this, just because there's way too many of them and they vary over too many of an area. But specifically what I wanted to bring up is over here, and you might not be able to see this, but there's this little icon here, and this is called a down payment resource. So these homes that have this little icon, they also qualify for a down payment resource. And that's what discussing earlier. Now, the only way to get this down payment resource is by taking a class that's right here, or if you talk to the lender and they actually direct you to that class. Now, if you have questions on this or down payment assistance, I wanted to really break it down. So this is an intro to this, but you need to have a conversation with a real estate agent, and we'll be able to help you with this and get you directed to the right resource for this. So if you have any questions, please like, subscribe, follow, and you can drop me a line also at 425-559-4590. And I just really appreciate you spending time with me today, and it was a pleasure working with you.